Hello and welcome to Up the Villa podcast. If you are new to our channel, subscribe, drop this video a like and get involved in the comment section down below. So our Australian tour goes to the final destination where we will be playing Manchester United, which is a really, really good pre-season game for me. I think I've loved that we've been testing ourselves up against Premier League opposition, and I think United will be a good test for us to see sort of where we're at, where we are. Do you know what I mean? So I think it'll be a good test for us, and it'd be interesting to see what the lineup's going to be. So, Justin, are you looking forward to it?
I am, yeah. I am really looking forward to it. I was just trying to put down what I thought might be the start 11 because I think now we are getting to the business end of pre-season, aren't we? We've got 2 games left. So I think it's time to start really thinking about the Bournemouth game now with only 2 games left. So I think the start of this game, especially because it's a step up, isn't it, Man United? They've had a phenomenal pre-season so far under the new manager. They seem to be revitalised, so which is a bit ominous for the new season. They've beat Liverpool 4-0. I think that was a weakened Liverpool side there. So although that does look like a good win, they beat Melbourne victory 4-1 and they beat Palace pretty comfortably 3-1. As well. I think there's a few goals flying around for sort of the ones that were out of favour last year, the Rashfords and the Martials and the Sanchos. So if you get some fire in, they've got a squad good enough, to compete at the top. So it's going to be a very, very, very good test for us going into this last game of the Australian leg of the tour. So it's going to be interesting to see which way Gerrard decides to go. There's a few question marks over certain positions, I think, but I think we'll go over the team maybe, and I'll give you my opinion on where I think I would go for the starting 11. But I don't know what you think.
Oh, we're bringing back these predicted lineups already.
Not really. It was just really to.
We can't get them when we know.
I know we can't.
We're going to pick a pre-season one.
I know pre-season one's going to be impossible. I think you agree though. I think he's got to go pretty strong, hasn't he, for the starting 11. I think we'll definitely see wholesale changes in the second half. I think that's a give me. But I think the starting 11 of this game, and especially the one the week after, I think that's got to be pretty close to his starting 11 for Bournemouth, if I'm honest now.
Yeah, I think with United, I think they were always probably going to have a good pre-season because, the pressure that club are under to get this Ten Hag reign working, firing, getting them back to, winning the Premier. A United fan's aim every season is pretty much to win the Premier League. And,
win everything,
for the last God knows how many years. So it feels a bit like this has got to be the time where they are revitalised. So I think that their results, if United had a shit pre-season, he's under pressure already. And that sounds daft. So I
totally agree with you. I think given it's not the Man United show, but I think we're obviously playing them. But I think given the nightmare after nightmare after nightmare they've had with managers, I think if they have a nightmare with this one, I don't know where they go from here. I really don't. They've tried the experienced heads, they've tried the up and comings, they've tried the left field solutions with like Solskjaer and old players, and nothing's worked for them. So they are in a bit of a muddle at the moment. But I don't know a lot about Ten Hag, but he comes with a huge reputation. And he doesn't seem to take much shit. So I think this is probably a good chance they've got, really, to have another good go at trying to re-establish themselves in that top 4. So, as I say, it's going to be a really good test for us because, over the next sort of 18 months, 2 years, if United are going to carry on struggling, they're really the next target for us to try and compete with, aren't they? Because the top 4 have sort of been just a little bit away from them. So they're sort of falling into that 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th category, haven't they, over the last few years, which is where we are now aspiring to get to. So this is why I think it would be a really good test for us on Saturday of where we are currently.
Yeah, and we should have done the double over from last season in the league as well.
Yeah,
so
100%.
Recently, we have been playing really good against United as well. So, like you say, I think it's going to be a stern test. I think what we've seen in pre-season so far is the first half teams have been the strongest side at each half. I think we've always gone very, very strong. And I think we've got partnerships all over the pitch where they're growing a little bit. So one thing that I'd be really, really interesting to see going into this United game is the centre-back partnership. Because if this is going to be our toughest test so far in pre-season, it'd be interesting to see. Because I know against Brisbane, he started Luca Dean, Matty Cash. Who's he going to go with centre-back partnership? Because we did an episode. I think it was the Australian tour preview. I think we had someone say, "Who would you go with as your best centre-back partner?" Now, my mind has slightly changed a little bit. I've changed now.
You're reading my mind here.
I've changed.
I know what you're going to say.
I think at this moment in time, Chambers and Carlos look our strongest two. What are you saying?
I'll probably agree with you. I've literally written down 11, and all the positions are pretty much, for me, nailed down apart from 3. That's centre half, centre mid, the 8s, and who plays up top. And when I say centre half, so I actually think Carlos is nailed on there to start in one of those positions. So that's him. That's done. So it's who plays alongside Carlos again in Bournemouth. And I think I said Mings, we both, I think, said Mings last time because of who he is. He's captain of the club. He's been pretty much stalwart for us for a few seasons. But I've gone away and I've read a few things on Twitter and I've had a really good think about it. And it sort of disrespects Callum Chambers for what he's done for us since he's come in. The lad has been pretty much faultless.
Yeah, and
he hasn't really put a foot wrong, has he?
We had a comment as well, and it made me think as well, because I do read every comment. I reply.
In fact, it might be the comments, I think. Yeah.
So in one of the comments, it was, "You two have just said how good Callum Chambers is. He's never put a foot wrong, but you've not picked him in your team." Now, I came away and I just thought, why haven't I? Why am I picking Tyrone Mings to start when I'm saying Chambers never does nothing wrong? So
do you know what I think it is?
What I'm saying?
I think he's coming on a free transfer. So straight away in your head, you think he's just a squad member. Oh, free transfer, play for Arsenal, never really established himself as the first choice there. He's come to Villa to be another squad member. I think if you spent £25 million on Callum Chambers in January, we'd be saying now Callum Chambers is probably one of our best centre halves, if not one of the starter. And that's the thing in your head. You think free transfer, he's not really, but quite frankly, he probably is. He deserves to be massively in the shout now to start against Bournemouth. And I think for me, it's Carlos or Chambers or Mings. And at the moment, I think if I had to pick the team tomorrow, I think I would probably plump for Callum Chambers.
I think I agree. But another player that I've been watching quite closely in pre-season is Douglas Luiz. And I'll be honest.
You've been reading these notes, have you?
I'll be honest, he looks quicker and he's getting across that pitch quicker. And I think because his role's not predominantly to be the CDM, I think it enables him to get around the pitch with a little bit more freedom. I don't know why.
I think we've been talking. I know we've been talking for many, many years in the shop and in Sutton, but we're literally thinking the same. I watched him this afternoon, and there was something in the second half when he was on the right hand side of the pitch, and he did a little shimmy and he went away from their player, and he drove at him. He did a bit of a Ramsey when he just ran with the ball. I thought, bloody hell, And I think this is what maybe one of the reasons he never signed his deal, and it's been a bit of a stand-up, because I think he sees himself in that 8, and he can be a really good 8, a top 8. He's 23 years old. He's only a kid still. I mean, we're going on about Kamara and being 22. Luiz is only 23 or 24, I think. So he's still pretty young, and he wants to play on the 8. He wants to impact the game higher up the pitch. Again, what I said, I've put Kamara in the 6 for the game on Saturday. And I've put Luiz, Ramsey, and McGinn. And out of the 3 at the moment, if I'm honest, I would start Luiz and Ramsey.
That's interesting. I just like McGinn in a Villa shirt. I don't know why. I don't know why.
I do.
Yeah. I think
these are good problems to have, now, Luke. Yeah. We're not talking about players that aren't going to, you're leaving. We're now at a position in our squad where we're going to be leaving very good players out, and that's a good position to be in.
Yeah. definitely.
But I think, sorry, just to finish that chat off. So if you started Kamara, Louise, and Ramsey, you've got 3 players there under 24 years of age in the midfield. You know, the future looks so great, honestly.
That's mad. And first half, I know Bailey's been starting every first half, so I'm guessing Bailey's going to start. Coutinho will definitely start. Now, I think I'd go Watkins. Watkins always seems to play quite well against United, and I still think, I know United have signed that new defender. What's his name? Martinez.
Yeah.
I think you get Maguire. I think if you're dragging Maguire out of position, I think you can create chances against Maguire.
I've gone slightly different. I think I would, again, because it's pre-season, I would have another shot on Saturday to start the game with Coutinho and Buendia.
Would you?
I would, yeah. I'd try and see how they go with a full pre-season behind them. And I'd probably agree with you. I've put Watkins / Ings. I've watched Ings today play up front on his own, and I think in games that are stretched when you're relying on somebody to have a bit of pace up front, especially playing up front on their own. Somebody said it on Twitter, and I agree. Ings struggles a little bit now to get in behind the lines and to use his pace. He's more of a, which we know he is anyway, he's more of a penalty box predator, isn't he? Whereas if you've got the likes of Coutinho, Buendia, Louise, and Ramsey sort of behind him, Watkins can stretch him, can't he? He can get around the back. He can run the channels. So I think I'd probably just slightly favour Watkins at the moment out of the two.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think Bournemouth first game. I'm starting Ollie Watkins. That's what I'm going with.
So I'd say my team for Saturday: Martinez, Cash, Carlos, Chambers, Dean, Kamara, Louise, Ramsey, Coutinho, Buendia, Watkins.
I'll tell you what, if we can nail a predicted lineup in pre-season,
I'm giving up. I'm retiring if that's right.
This break has done us good. So Villa fans, go on then. What would be your lineup for Manchester United on Saturday? It's an exciting game. It's a tester for the squad to see where we are, and then we move our attention to Rennes the following week.
He might, he might very well not do that. What I'm saying, he might actually leave that more definitive starting 11 for the last game and say, okay, we've done all that our messing about. So probably having said all that, I'll probably just go totally different. But I think, but next week he has to play the strongest 11 to start with. I think, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what everybody else thinks.
Yes, it will. So we'll be back then for a bit of a match reaction after the United game. And we'd love to have you all join us and have your thoughts. And then week commencing the 25th, like I said the other day, our season content is going to get up and running. So we'll be jam-packed that week with content, and then we'll be jam-packed with our normal stuff before games, and we've got a new little feature after a game as well. So be sure to check that out. I'm happy that we are slowly getting there. It's just exciting. The more the season gets going as well. And what I reckon towards the end of next week, what we'll do as well, we'll do another fantasy football episode to tweak our team to see if we want to adjust it. We'll keep that feature going, and we'll probably touch base with those sort of in the international breaks and stuff like that. So we've got a bit of content for you as well. We can sort of see how everybody's team's doing, see if the team that you have helped us pick does any good or not. So, yeah, be sure to check some of our other episodes out as well. Thanks for watching, and up the Villa.
Up the Villa.